All right, hello everybody. We are Team 2, and we're going to be talking about all that you need to know about Amazon and their second headquarters. We're going to be discussing Amazon's current headquarters, why does Amazon want to open a second headquarters, and insight on the cities that are currently in the running. Why did Amazon choose this city as their second headquarters, and why New York opted out. Amazon's headquarters was founded in Bellevue, Washington in 1994. The first leasing space was opened in Seattle, Washington, and this was their first actual headquarters. The office building was located in downtown Seattle, which occupied 33 offices and employed 40,000 employees in the year 2018. Nationwide, this resulted in employing 350,000 people. Amazon is considered one of the largest growing online sites. It is ranked #1 as the fastest, most innovative companies, and ranked #2 as the Fortune's world most admired companies. On the screen, you'll also see a quote from Jeff Bezos, who is the founder of Amazon. I'm going to now pass the next slide over to Allison, who's going to be discussing why Amazon wanted to choose the second headquarters.
Hi, everyone. I'm here to talk about the biggest question on a lot of investors' minds after Amazon announced that they wanted a second headquarters was why? Why did they feel the need for a second headquarters in the first place? So one of the biggest reasons, all of Amazon has not come out to the public and actually announced any reason why they want a second headquarters. So all the reasons that we have are purely speculative. So one of the biggest reasons that people assume is because they feel that they are outgrowing their current home base, which is Seattle, Washington. They feel that if they expand any further in that location, that the only impacts that will result will be negative, including housing cost increases, the cost of living increases. They also feel possibly that their talent pool in that location after almost 25 years of being there has been maxed out, that they've wrung it dry and it's just time to move on to a new home, or rather to expand to another home. Moving to the next slide, one of the biggest reasons that people speculate that Amazon wants another headquarters is simply because they are growing into so many different markets and want to continue to grow into new markets. And for that, they're going to need diversified talent to go along with that. They want to be able to pull from different pools of talent from different locations that specialize in things maybe other than where they're at now, which is a tech-savvy Pacific Northwest of the United States. They want to be able to reach more diverse professions and other business networking groups. They've also been labeled a radically new kind of monopoly with ambitions that dwarf those of earlier empires, which is accurate. It's time for something new for them. So that's why they're looking elsewhere. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nick, who's going to talk to you about some of the cities and locations that they've been vetting.
Thank you, Allison. Yeah, so there are many, many cities that are interested in becoming the next HQ2 for Amazon. They offer different incentives to entice Amazon to come their way. Atlanta, for example, offers some tax incentives. They also are the fourth lowest home values in the nation. So they thought that maybe these low home prices would be a good reason for Amazon to come their way. Another city is Boston. They actually didn't offer any tax incentives, but they did have a really well-established infrastructure and also some very strong Ivy League schools that could bring in some new talent and be a great workforce for the new HQ. Chicago, another big, great city. They offered some good tax incentives, but they also offered 10 different sites that Amazon could choose from, both suburban and urban, that Amazon would be able to pick from and build a new campus. Philadelphia, they actually offered one of the largest tax incentives. They offered $1 billion in the first, just for them moving there, and then $2 billion more over 10 years that the Amazon could benefit from. And they are also ready to develop immediately. Washington, D.C. is another one. Low tax incentive, but some very great universities, and it is the nation's capital. And with that, Anthony is going to now say why and who got chosen.
So Amazon not only chose one city, but they chose two. They chose Arlington, Virginia, and Queens, New York. Why chose two cities over one? One, for more available talent. They could use the talent pool from two cities versus one. Less impact on communities. With mass transit and housing, the less people that are in town is the better off you are. It chose Queens because it's adjacent to the U.S. Financial Center of New York City. They chose Arlington because it's adjacent to the U.S. Capitol and its political advantages. Selection criteria is they needed access to an international airport, a pool of potential workers, and business-friendly tax structure. Some winners and losers of the Amazon decision. Most importantly, Amazon, who not only got tax incentives, they get a new headquarters, but they also got insight to a lot of the major U.S. cities and the logistics and infrastructures of those cities. Property owners and developers, as Amazon hires highly skilled workers and pays them good money, they're going to need some place to live. So property owners and developers would benefit greatly, as well as the two cities of Arlington and Queens. Some of the losers in Amazon's decisions could be renters and low-income residents. As the influx of new employees for Amazon come in, the rental prices go up and housing goes up because there's less available. Commuters, more people, more traffic, and the losing cities, those that didn't get the tax benefits of getting Amazon. And with that, I'll hand it off to Crystal, who's going to speak to New York in backing out.
Thank you, Anthony. So with the losing reasons that Anthony touched on is actually why New York opted out of the Amazon deal. They were looking for support for housing, for jobs, schools, and they weren't really getting that. So even though Amazon was going to open 25,000 jobs, it wasn't really for them. It's high salary jobs that mostly will bring people out of state and not local daily jobs that New York residents need. They wouldn't get support for more schools or investment in infrastructure, or even the support of Amazon answering to any questions or concerns that the residents had. Bill de Blasio had warned the senior executive at Amazon of what they needed and to prove them wrong. And instead, Amazon looked the other way and proved them right, that they weren't going to receive that support. So for that, New York basically backed out of the deal. And before they actually announced it, Amazon backed out and there was no deal to open up the headquarters. With now looking forward, new businesses aren't going to want to open up in New York or see if New York is an option because they're not going to feel welcome. And that's maybe one of the things that New York has to think about now, as opposed to Amazon now having to think of the support that they need to give. And so in conclusion, Amazon is a huge company that started off in Seattle, has given plenty of opportunities, it's maxed out their current space, and now is looking for more. And it's probably going to be a struggle for them to open up somewhere else. So thank you for listening, and thank you for letting us present to you, and thank you.